Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mandeep from GNDU Amritsar. Today we are going to talk on the module Balance of Payment from the paper Business Environment. After completing this module, you will be able to define the concept of balance of payment, describe the features of balance of payment, understand the components which are of the balance of payment, and also understand the difference between balance of payment and balance of trade. You will also be able to differentiate between the balance of trade and current account, and will examine India's balance of payment position as per the Economic Survey 2015-2016. In the contemporary world, international trade is the backbone of every economy. No economy in this world remains cut off from the rest of the world. International trade among different countries involves transactions related to exchange of capital, goods, and services across the international borders and territories, which resulted in inflow and outflow of foreign exchange. Thus, there is a need to make a systematic record of all the economic transactions between the different nations in order to know the net position of foreign exchange of the country at a given point of time. Balance of payments serves the said purpose by making a record of all the monetary transactions with all the other countries. Let's talk about the meaning of balance of payments. The balance of payments is a bookkeeping system for recording all the payments that have a direct bearing on the movement of funds between a nation, whether private sector or government sector, and foreign countries. Balance of payment records balance of visible trade, balance of invisible trade or services, and capital transfers among different countries. All transactions resulted in inflow of foreign exchange are credited in the account, while the transactions resulted in outflow of foreign exchange are debited with the negative sign in the account. Thus, the difference in the balance of payment account will show three kinds of positions. One is balanced, another is favorable, and another one is unfavorable. Balanced balance of payment means when inflow of foreign exchange is equal to outflow of foreign exchange. Favorable balance of payment when inflow of foreign exchange is greater than the outflow of foreign exchange. Unfavorable balance of payment occurs when the outflow of foreign exchange is more than inflow of foreign exchange. Define balance of payment in the words of various writers. As per C.B. Kindleberger, the balance of payment of a country is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the residents of the reporting and the residents of the foreign countries during a given period of time. International Monetary Fund defines it. The balance of payment is a statistical statement that subsequently summarizes for a specific time period and economic transactions of an economy with the rest of the world. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development also defines it, that balance of payment is a record of a country's international transactions with the rest of the world. In other words, balance of payment shows how money is spent abroad and how money is received domestically. Now, on the basis of various definitions, there are various features of balance of payment. Now, let's discuss the various features or characteristics of the balance of payments. First is double entry system. As a student of commerce, we all know what is double entry system, that is debit and credit. So, receipts and payments record is maintained here also on the basis of the double entry system, whatever we receive and whatever we pay. Then it is systematic record. Balance of payment records systematically all the economic transactions related to goods, services, and even the capital transfers. Third feature is comprehensive. Balance of payment consists of three main parts, that is current account, capital account, and official reserve settlement balance. Specified period of time. As in other accounts, we have a specified period of time for making the accounts, that is 1 year or 6 months or whatever it is. Similarly, here also, balance of payment records the transactions that occur within the given year. All the transactions are taken into consideration. So this balance of payment records the transactions of government agencies as well as business sector with rest of the world. Importance of balance of payments. Balance of payments truly gauges the international solvency position of reporting country. In the context of developing nations, balance of payment shows the extent of the country dependence on the financial assistance provided by developed nations. The economic dealings fall under the balance of payments. They would create demand and supply of different currencies. Balance of payment is helpful in determining the exchange rate of country's currency with other currencies. The surplus in balance of payment results into addition to foreign reserves, which would create the demand for Indian currency that ultimately leads to the appreciation of INR. Similarly, there would be the depletion of foreign reserves on account of the deficit of balance of payments that would create demand for US dollar that leads to depreciation of Indian rupee. Favorable and adverse trends in the balance of payment position affects the formulation of monetary policy, fiscal policy, foreign trade policy, etc. of any country. Now, what are the factors which affect this balance of payment? The balance of payment showcases the country's economic performance and dependence on other countries, which is influenced by innumerable factors. Some of the factors which are most influencing we will discuss now. The first one is trade barriers. Trade barriers significantly affect the imports and exports of the country. Higher the trade barriers imposed by the foreign country against the exporting country, lower will be the demand for goods and services supplied by the exporting country. The external trade policy of the foreign nation to restrict the imports and subsidize export would change the prices of goods and services produced in the domestic country that make the import and export more or less attractive to the domestic economy depending upon the conditions. Second one is inflation rate. The inflation rate in the domestic economy as against the other economy also affects the trade performance and international competitiveness of the domestic goods and the services. Higher the inflation rate in the domestic country would result in decline in exports on account of lower demand for the domestic goods and services. On the other hand, it would also increase the demand for imported goods which are relatively cheaper than the domestically produced goods. Another factor is exchange rate. The value of the domestic country currency relative to other currencies also affect the balance of payment position. The lower value of the domestic currency would facilitate the settlement of export transactions at the lower international price. That ultimately increases the demand for goods and services of exporting country. On the other hand, it may also affect negatively and make the imports dearer, that is more a price for the domestic country. Next is the income of the foreigners. It is a well-known fact that as the income increases, the consumption level, that is expenditure on goods and services, also increases, leading to greater imports. Thus, the increase in standard of living and income level of the residents of an overseas country to whom the domestic country is going to export goods and services positively affects the balance of payment position of the exporting country. National income, that's the income of the country. Higher the imports of goods and services can be experienced in the situation when the income level, that is the national income level of the domestic country increases, because they will be in a position to buy the products. the importing country will face unfavorable balance of payment position, which reflects an increased demand for foreign goods and services. Government policies. The domestic country's government policies, such as the export promotion or import substitution, have a significant impact on its balance of payment position. The domestic firms can produce goods and services at a relatively lower price than the global competitors, as the government offers subsidies to them. The lower price charged from the overseas economies also enable the domestic country to capture a larger share of the global market. On the other hand, if the government restricts import by imposing taxes and fixing quotas of imported goods, the prices of foreign goods would increase, which will result in higher demand for the domestically produced goods and services. This leads to the favorable balance of payment position of the domestic country. Next comes development activities. There has been a substantial increase in import expenditure on petroleum products for expanding industrial and transport sectors. To meet the requirements of capital goods such as machines, electrical equipments, metals, and transport equipments, etc., developing countries depend upon the developed nations. All these development activities result into the huge outflow of domestic currency, and demand for foreign currency for making the import payments leads to the deficit in balance of payment account of developing economies. Other factors affecting countries' balance of payment position include the cost of production of goods and services at home and abroad, cyclical fluctuations, and political disturbances, etc. Now let's discuss the major components of balance of payments. As shown in this chart, it has certain components like current account, capital account, and changes in foreign exchange reserves. Now in current account, it can be merchandise, it can be invisibles. In merchandise, we talk about imports and exports, while in invisibles, we talk about services, income, and transfer. As far as capital account is concerned, it is the combination of equity and debt. In equity, we have FDI, that is foreign direct investment, and FII, that is foreign institutional investment, while in debt, we have the components like NRI deposits, short-term debt, and ECBs. And the third component of balance of payment is changes in the foreign exchange reserve. Now the first component, that is current account. Current account. Current account is the first component of balance of payment. It contains the record of receipts and payments of the transactions related to trade in goods and services, investment incomes, and transfers during a given period of time. The current account is calculated by adding the balance of merchandise trade, that is the goods, the balance of trade in services, net investment incomes, and unilateral transfer. So we can have a formula for current account, that is current account is equal to trade balances plus net services plus net investment income plus net transfers. So the main components of current account, first is the balance of trade, second is the balance of invisible trade, third is the unilateral transfers, and the fourth and the last one is net income, which have been explained. Balance of trade. In the words of Benham, balance of trade of a country is the relation over a period between the values of its exports and imports of physical goods. So the balance of trade is equal to visible exports minus visible imports. Balance of trade is also known as balance of visible trade or balance of merchandise trade or trade balance. So this is one and the same thing. Trade balance is a prominent constituent of current account that is calculated by deducting total import of goods from the total export of goods. So in this way, balance of trade can also be favorable or unfavorable. If the mercantile import payments are more than the export receipts, we can say that the country has a trade deficit. On the other hand, if the mercantile export receipts are greater than the import payments, the country will have a trade surplus. Balance of invisible trade or services and transfer. What is this? Balance of trade in services is measured by deducting import payments of services availed from other countries from the export receipts of services availed by rest of the world. Now, services mainly include here travel and tourism, transportation, royalties, construction, communication, banking, insurance, professional and other services. The transfers represent one-sided transactions without any consideration that cover both private and official transfers. Private transfers mainly include gifts, donations, grants, personal remittances by migrants, repatriation of savings, etc. While the official transfers represent grants, donations, and other assistance received or given by the government from bilateral or multilateral institutions. Net transfers, so here it's stated by the difference in the receipts from and payments made to the rest of the world on account of unilateral transfers. Now, what is this net investment income? Net investment income includes income in the form of interest, dividend, and profits for servicing of the foreign capital transaction. Investment income receipts comprises of interest received on loans to non-resident, dividend and profit received to the foreign investment and reinvested earnings, etc. While the investment income payment include payment of interest on debentures and non-resident deposits, dividend and profit to the non-resident shareholders, etc. Another important term is current account balance, which is a very common word. Current account balance can be named as current account deficit or current account surplus depending upon the situation. If the receipts on account of export of goods, services, transfers and investment income are more than the payments made for the import of goods and services and transfers and investment income, then the country has the current account surplus and vice versa. If current account deficit, if we talk about current account deficit, it arises when the payments made for the import of goods, services, transfers and investment income are more than the export receipts of goods, services, transfers and investment income. Capital account. If the country faces current account deficit, then there is a need to boost foreign capital into the country. Capital account is an account which records all the foreign currency that flows into the home currency and the domestic currency that flows into the foreign nation in the form of capital investments particularly. Thus, the capital account describes the flow of capital between the domestic country and the foreign countries. So we can say that capital account is equal to net foreign direct investment plus foreign portfolio investment plus banking capital and loans plus ECBs and trade credits. So these main components of capital account, that is the external assistance, external commercial borrowings, short-term debt, banking capital, foreign investment and other capital, which are the part of the capital account. External assistance. External assistance or help refers to financial aid or loan given by India to the foreign governments and loans extended by the foreign governments to India under various agreements and repayments of such loans. Next is external commercial borrowings, ECBs. External commercial borrowings is another important constituent of capital account, which is relatively less fickle than foreign investment. ECB or external commercial borrowing refers to the money borrowed from abroad by Indian corporates in the form of medium or long-term loans, commercial papers, bonds, credits, and notes, etc. Third one is short-term debt. Short-term debt or short-term credit is defined as the draws in respect of loans utilized and repayments with a maturity of less than 1 year. Banking capital, the fourth component. It comprises the foreign assets and liabilities of commercial banks in the form of foreign currency holdings, non-resident deposits. Other than non-resident deposits, even the movement in balance of foreign central banks and international institutions like IBRD, IDA, EDB, IFC, IFAD, etc. are maintained with RBI. Foreign investment. Foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment are the important building block under the capital account of balance of payment. Now, foreign direct investment or FDI refers to an investment made to acquire lasting or long-term interest in enterprises operating outside the economy of the investor. On the other hand, foreign portfolio investment is defined as the cross-border transactions and positions involving equity or debt securities other than those included in direct investment or reserve assets. These definitions have been given by International Monetary Fund. Next comes other items in the capital account. Now, other capital comprises mainly the leads and lags in export receipts, funds held abroad, India's subscription to the international institutions, quota payments to IMF, remittances towards recouping the losses of branches, subsidiaries, and residual item of other capital transactions not including elsewhere as defined by RBI. Changes in official international reserve account. As per RBI, movement in reserves records the changes in the foreign currency assets held by RBI and SDR balances held by Government of India. Official reserve change is calculated by adding current account balance and capital account balance. So we can say that official reserve change is equal to current account balance plus capital account balance. Foreign exchange reserves are not the part of balance of payment. Only the changes in reserves are reported to be in the balance of payment. Thus, we can say that balance of payment is equal to current account balance plus capital account balance plus reserve balance. India's external sector developments in 2014 and 15. Now let's talk about the salient features of India's external sector developments which happened in the year 2014 and 15 in a summarized form. First of all, the merchandise exports and merchandise imports declined by 0.6% and 1% respectively in the year 2014 and 15 as compared to 2013 and 14 due to declining petroleum oil lubricants export and imports. Secondly, the trade deficit was 7.1% of GDP in year 2014 and 15, which was the lowest since year 2006 and 7. Thirdly, net service exports, which were US $76.6 billion, it raised by 4.7% and it acts as a cushion to shrink the size of trade deficit. Moreover, net private transfers, mostly in the form of remittances, increased marginally by US $0.4 billion in 2014 and 15 on account of restrained global growth and falling crude oil prices. Interfusion of low trade deficit with moderate growth of 2.5% in the invisible surplus resulted in lower current account deficit of only 1.3% of GDP in 2014 and 15 as compared to 1.7% of GDP in the year 2013 and 14. There was 64% surge in net foreign investment during this year. Net FDI, that is FDI into India minus FDI outward India, it reached to the all-time high of US $31.3 billion in the particular year. Net portfolio investment also reached their highest level, that is US $42.2 billion in this year, though it was US $32.4 billion in the year 9 and 10. Moreover, net capital flows in the year 2014-15 were at their second highest level, that is 88.2 billion US dollars, which were 4.3% of GDP as compared to only 2.6% of GDP in the year 2013-14. There was high accumulation of 61.4 US dollars in foreign exchange reserves in the present year, which was nearly 4 times of foreign exchange reserves in the year 2013 and 14, which was only 15.5 billion US dollars. Now let's talk about the difference between balance of trade and balance of payment. Balance of trade is a narrow concept which is a part of balance of payment, because the balance of payment is a broader term. Balance of payment includes current account, capital account, and change in official foreign exchange reserves, while balance of trade is a component only of the current account. Balance of trade deals with import and export of goods only, while balance of payment takes into consideration all the items, whether goods, services, and capital account transactions. So we can say that balance of trade is equal to export of goods minus import of goods, while balance of payment is equal to export of goods plus export of services plus capital receipts minus import of goods, import of services, and capital payments. Moreover, the deficit of balance of trade can be met by balance of payments, while deficit of balance of payment can never be met by the balance of trade. Balance of payment is a true indicator of the economic performance of any economy, and it is more significant than balance of trade. Balance of payment, being the broader, has a greater impact on country's national income and employment. Balance of trade does not record the transactions of capital nature, while it is done in case of balance of payment, where we include balance of trade, balance of services, balance of unilateral transfers, and balance of capital transactions. Even if balance of trade is unfavorable, balance of payment can be favorable on account of more receipts on invisibles and capital accounts. Similarly, if the balance of trade is favorable, balance of payment can be unfavorable on account of few receipts and capital accounts and invisibles. Now let's differentiate between balance of trade and current account. The trade balance is the amount a country receives for the export of goods and services minus the amount it pays for the import of goods and services. The current account, on the other hand, is the trade balance plus the net amount received for domestically owned factors of production used abroad. Thus, we can say that the balance of trade is the difference in visible exports and visible imports, while current account includes visible plus invisible exports minus visible and invisible imports. Trade balance is a narrow concept and current account is a broader term which includes the balance of trade also. Balance of trade does not take into account the services which are invisible in nature, while the current account manages the transactions related to trade in goods and services. Now let's have a look on India's current account performance as shown in Economic Survey of 2015 and 16. This table summarizes India's current account and its components for the period 2011-12 to 15-16. Now if we see the current account developments in the first half of 2015 and 16, during this time there was a remarkable improvement in the contraction of current account deficit. It was reported as $14.4 billion US dollars in the first half of 2015-16 as against 18.4 billion US dollars in the first half of 2014 and 15. As far as merchandise exports on BOP basis are concerned, it stood at the figure 135.6 billion US dollars, which was declined by 17.6% in the first half of 2015 and 16. The major reason for the overall decline in exports was the decline in petroleum oil lubricants exports. Because the petroleum oil lubricants export declined by nearly 50% in the first half of 2015-16 on account of a fall in the international prices of petroleum and crude products. Now, as far as merchandise imports are concerned, they were 207.2 billion US dollars, which declined by 13.4% in the first half of 2015-16 due to lower levels of petroleum oil lubricant imports, which resulted in decline in the total imports. As a result of decline in both the exports and imports during the first half of 2014-15, trade's deficit also fell from 74.7 US billion dollars, that is approximately 7.5% of GDP, to 71.6 billion US dollars, that is approximately 7.2% of GDP in the first half of year 2015-16. Net invisible account that covers the services, transfers and income, that has also increased marginally by around 1.0 billion US dollars to 57.2 billion US dollars in the first half of 2015-16 as compared to 2014 and 15. Its components, that is net services, they declined in the first half of 15-16. They were 35.3 billion US dollars as against 36.5 billion US dollars in the first half of 2014-15. The reason is the lower growth of services exports than that of services imports. Now, if we talk about net private transfers, they also declined marginally in the first half of 2015-16. It occurred as 32.7 billion US dollars as compared to 33.1 US billion dollars in the corresponding period of the previous year. Net income, which is the net outgo on account of interest or dividend of the stock of capital flows that have come to India. During the first half of 2015-16, it moderated to 10.5 US billion dollars as against 13 billion US dollars in the first half of 2014 and 15. Moderate growth in the invisible surplus coupled with lower trade deficit resulted in lower current account deficit, which occurred at 14.4 US billion dollars, approximately 1.4% of GDP in the first half of 2015-16 as compared to 18.4 billion US dollars, that is 1.9% of GDP in the corresponding period in the previous year. Now, the table 2 summarizes India's capital account performance as shown in Economic Survey 2015 and 16. It is having the comparable position from 2011-12 till first half of 2015 and 16. Now, if we talk about the capital account developments in the first half of 2015-16, net capital inflow was 25.4 billion US dollars as against 36.5 billion US dollars in the corresponding period of the previous year. The main components of the capital account have been explained in this table again. The first one is external assistance. During the first half of 2015-16, there was sharp reduction in external assistance by around 71.4%, which stood at 0.2 billion US dollars as compared to the corresponding period of the last year. External commercial borrowing, that is ECBs, stood at 0.9 billion US dollars as against 0.9 billion US dollars in the corresponding period of the previous year. Short-term credit, if we talk about short-term credit, during the first half of year 2015-16, there was outflow in the short-term credit, that is 1.2 billion US dollars, which was less as compared to the figure of the previous corresponding year, that was 1.4 billion US dollars. Banking capital, which includes NRI deposits, stood at US $10.1 billion in the first half of year 2015-16 as shown in economic survey, as against 6.5 billion US dollars of the corresponding period in the previous year. The foreign investment, another component, during the first half year of 15-16, net foreign investment fell to 7.9 billion US dollars as against 37.3 billion US dollars in the first half of the corresponding previous period, mainly due to more outflow of portfolio investment. So net portfolio investment logged an outflow of 8.7 billion US dollars in the first half of 15-16 as against net inflow of 22.2 billion US dollars in the corresponding period of the previous year. During the first half of 2015-16, net capital flows declined by 32%. They were figured at 24.9 billion US dollars on account of outflow in net portfolio investment as against the corresponding period of the previous year. It was 36.5 billion US dollars. Now the table 3, it shows India's change in foreign reserve position as shown in the latest economic survey, that is 2015 and 16. Again, it is showing the figures from the year 2011-12 to the first half of 2015-16. As far as the change in foreign reserve position is concerned, low level of current account deficit coupled with moderate rise in capital inflows resulted in acceleration in the foreign exchange reserves of 10.6 billion US dollars in the first half of 15-16 as against 18.1 billion US dollars of the first half of 2014 and 15. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module throughout. Balance of payment is a statistical statement of monetary transactions of the nation for a specified time period that shows that the country's imports and exports of visible and invisibles, various capital transactions with the rest of the world, and the effect of that on its foreign exchange reserves. So the balance of payment comprises current account, capital account, and change in foreign exchange reserves. Current account of the balance of payment includes transactions of imports and exports of goods, services, and transfers. While the capital account involves inflows and outflows relating to investment and borrowing to and from abroad. India's balance of payment position had improved substantially, resulting in higher accretion in the foreign exchange reserves due to sharp contraction in the current account deficit and a sharp rise in financial flows in the form of FDI, that is foreign direct investment, and portfolio, that is foreign portfolio. Thank you very much.